Parabon, Maria Dur, Hiera Dur, Shuraboy, Shukaraka Boy.
Part of Rising Appalachia's mission through art and music and education has been studying global folk music, roots music, and cultural preservation through that. So we were able to link up with Leaf International this year and take a trip through the southern First Nations territory of Costa Rica. And we linked up with an organization called Proyecto Herundai and study the work that's being put together through the help of Leaf International and Leaf Costa Rica, and also through several of the projects and communities that are down in the Bribri territory. So when Rising Appalachia landed, we piled all of our instruments into the front of this beautiful dugout canoe, and we crossed the river. When we arrived at the gates of the Bribri homeland, and they welcomed us in a very beautiful, very high-tech space. You know, they're living in both a traditional way of life and a farming way of life, and also with a pretty modern relationship with technology. And Proyecto Herundai, in partnership with Leaf International, is doing recording work and preservation work, trying to capture a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the dialect that's come out of these ancient singing traditions. And there we spent 5 days connecting with the community and studying the song and the drum traditions that come out of this First Nations tribe. They've never been moved off of their territory. This is their ancestral homelands. And we were also able to work with a community of drummers. And there's an amazing teacher named Jairo, who lives down in the community and who years ago decided that he wanted to study the traditional drumming, and it was down to maybe 1 or 2 elders that were teaching. So when we arrived, Jairo and his drum students met us, and he now has 10-20 students, and his teacher now has 10 to 20 students. So he was able to show us that this tradition went all the way down to a few people left that were holding it, and then in the last several years has really grown exponentially, and there is a pride and an education in the process. And I think that the most amazing part of that is recognizing that the memory bank and the preservation is being carried through the power of the arts. You know, it is actually the tradition around culture, around art, around music that is holding these memories for generations and generations. So the song that we were able to leave the community with is a song called Botewak. And it's an ancient song. It's a sacred song of the origin of women. Bo kare bo Maria idor e aidor shura boy shu karaka boy shu yeo do kara mamra do nai wo kire boy shu. Okay.
Ibike doje wa jesle wa kai kireta jeru jetu ebike doje wa jesle ka ebike se jetu kamru richu eru jeke ebike doje wa kai kamru ka tai rachu ki